Hello, my Leo collective sun, moon, rising signs. You ready for this full moon to new moon next, the waning side of it? You might want to go and watch the other one that I did for the Leo sun, moon, rising signs. New moon to this full moon. Catch the line of continuity, as we know you like to do, because it's all about you, Leo. Now, by the way, I am Leo rising, so I keep a sense of humor with my Leos. They usually enjoy me that way. Had a lot of Leo lovers too, a lot of Leo lovers in this life. This is not necessarily a path of true love reading, but you never know with me, right? True love is what I'm all about. Fifth dimensional unity consciousness merged within all relationship structures. I just read a client for 2 hours face-to-face. Yes, I still take clients at my house. I'm old school. I've been doing this since I'm 12 years old. I just turned 51. Last Friday, September 6th. So I'm back. I went to Brooklyn, had a wonderful time. I'm fully recuperated now. It took me a day. Took me a hot minute to Virgoize and metabolize all of that. I'm rehydrated, I'm rested, and I'm ready to go. Already blessed the decks, the angels, the gods, and the masters are ready to rock and roll. This feels really good, really positive. So let's have a look at what you need. Now, these readings are a what do I need read. It's not where am I, where's my twin flame, where's my soulmate, where's the money, where's the beef, for those of you who remember the 80s, where's the beef? No, this is about what you need, and that is the question that I ask my guides, my masters, and my teachers pretty much on the regular, sometimes several times throughout the day, depending. But a lot of people who pull a card a day for themselves, which I've got so many divination systems, I could take an hour just drawing them, right? But instead of asking where am I, or how am I doing, because even if all of the celestials manifested in bodies in your living room and said, you're doing great, kid, you'd be like, not feeling it, right? So what do I need? Such a better question. What do I need to look at? What do I need to focus on? What do I need to do, right? So please take what resonates. Please take what resonates. I can't read for every single Leo, sun, moon, rising sign in the universe. Well, I guess astrology probably doesn't apply to Antares the way we look at it, star systems and all. But that being said, we're going to dive in. Oh, all the cards I'm using are listed in the description box below, as well as if you'd like to make a donation. I just got a PayPal me thingy. Yeah, you don't even need a PayPal account. You could just send me a donation. Greatly appreciated. Keep putting gas in my car, paying my bills. Thank you so much, because I am a professional witch and a professional intuitive and a Leo rising. Can you tell by the purple hair? Overtone purple for brown, just saying. Let's dive in. My collective pantheon of angels, guides, and masters. What is the dominant archetype from the Caroline Myss archetype cards that this Leo collective sun, moon, rising sign is developing from this waning moon, from full moon to new moon next for September 2019? Ooh, the artist. How funny. I have the artist archetype in the house of Leo. It is the god of Apollo, who's right up there, and I'm wearing the Apollo ring for that. So I have artist lifelong. I look like an artist. So many times people are like, are you in a rock band? I'm like, sort of. I've got a lot of rocks. I was actually trained as a singer. Can you believe it? Probably can't. I'd be dead right now if I went the rock star route. So we're going to read the archetype cards once I get one from each of the decks that I'm doing for this full moon to new moon read for you all. So my angels, same thing. Can you please tell us what they're going to be alchemizing the artist in them, and they don't have to be professional artists to have the artist archetype. It's the head of the creative family of archetypes, as we know. So my angels, please, a card of clarity. What do they need? What does this Leo collective sun, moon, rising sign need for September full moon to new moon next? Yeah, nature. Nature boy. Nature can be about your own personal nature, right? Nature or nurture, something written in to the character that you're playing in this life, as well as it can also mean go out in nature. That's the Doreen Virtue Healing with Angel Oracles, and it's such a little booklet that comes with it that after reading it, using it in my readings for at least 20 years, probably longer, You know, the intuition, the gods, well, in this case, the angels, just gives you other ways of looking at it. I just rarely go literal, unless really it's literal. I don't know, right? My gods, oh, Leo, please, Apollo, the only one who sits in the throne of Leo for me. A piece of your radiant clarity, guidance, and grace for this Leo collective sun, moon, rising sign. What do they need for this full moon to new moon? Next. Woo! Ecstasy, 10 of Cups. Bingo was his name. Oh, there may be some embracing of the shadow in that process because we're dealing with Inanna, the goddess Inanna, Inanna's house of heaven. 10 of Cups. Ecstasy. You know the 10 of Cups, right? You know, it's a rainbow of cups and kids spinning, getting dizzy and puking afterwards. I don't have kids, I have cats. They don't spin. But really in here, there's this feeling of that you've done a lot of alchemical work within yourself, particularly if you've been working your art, your artist archetype in you. And I will read that, and that will clarify. You're like, I'm not an artist, click off, but hang in there, because the artist archetype isn't always so very literal, and I'll give some examples when I get there. But first, my masters. You know, I was very hesitant, I say it in my earlier videos, very hesitant to talk about the Ascended Masters because they're a little, I don't know, Southern California 1990s spirituality, New Agey stuff. A little tinfoil hatty, but then they started to show up in my life, and I warned them if they show up manifested on my couch like they did to Gary Renard in Disappearance of the Universe, I'm out. Canceling my contract and going home. Not interested. So they have a great sense of humor, which is why I love them, because they all did the Earth journey, and that's why they're Ascended Masters. They're graduates, really older brothers and sisters, not like master and slave deal. No, 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 no. No one tells me what to do. The gods, maybe, because I love them. Perfect love and perfect trust, right? Of who, of what? The gods alone. So my masters, please clarify what's going on here. What does this Leo collective sun, moon, rising sign need from this full moon to new moon next? You know, to look at your bad choices, you know, because there really are no bad choices in the quantum. You can't fuck up the divine plan, but you might feel like you've made some bad choices. No, by the way, I'll try and reach, do the Reed Richards stretch there. See, she's eating an apple, but the apple got a worm in it she don't see. So look, we all do the best that we can. Being compassionate with ourselves and others is really getting that in the quantum. You can't make a bad decision because it only looks like a bad decision from our point of view. But certainly if there is a repetition there, keep doing the same thing, right? What is insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. So let's give you the last one. We're going to, oh, this is the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. This is, it's all down there, Daughters of the Moon Tarot. I just like to give credit where credit is due. Live and let live, fairly take and fairly give. Cast the circle thrice about to keep unwanted spirits out. To bind the spell well every time. Let the spell be spake in rhyme. Soft of eye and light of touch. Speak ye little, listen much. I had to memorize it when I was in my clergy training days. Yes, I'm a minister. A reverend. I prefer the irreverent reverend. My collective pantheon of angels, gods, and masters, please one card in clarity. What does this Leo collective sun, moon, rising sign need? Give them a whisper of love to put this all together in the first line. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. Which for the artist, you could get very creative about that. Excuse me. Still clearing out a little sinus thing. But is a very good segue into now this artist archetype. Remember, every archetype has a light attribute and a shadow attribute, gold and lead. That's why I say, what is the soul power of the archetype? That they are alchemizing from lead, the shadow being brought into the gold of the light. I'm creating some coughing. Throat chakra, light attribute. Expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Divination is an art form in that sense. What are you doing? You're helping yourself, or if you're a reader, you're helping others. See the non-physical, certainly experience that, express that, but inspiring others to see life symbolically. That's what my life is. So I am not a visual artist. Honey, I can't even draw a straight line with a fucking ruler and a pencil nailed to the table. The ruler, not the pencil. I am a dancer. I was trained as a dancer. I can sing. I have a beautiful singing voice. No, I'm not singing on here unless it pops up. And I was an actor too, but if I had gone down that road, I would have been dead. So really, I'm a verbal artist. I am a magical artist, right? I'm a spiritual artist. So that, so it's like someone might not think they have any artistic talent, but you know, they go in the kitchen and they take odds and ends and make this gorgeous, beautiful, delicious thing. That's art, right? It's a soul power. So your personality may rail against the idea of an artist unless you really do identify as an artist. And by all means, pay attention, because this might in some way be easier for you, unless of course you're looking at dealing with the shadow attribute. Using talent as an excuse to mistreat others. Throw any cell phones lately? Just saying. Posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't care if I'm on the balls of my ass. I'm going to do the best that I can and put forth my Leo rising self, right? Shine. Shine, witch, shine. So now we put that with nature, that if this really is, if you are artistic by nature, you, like I said, you don't have to identify, you don't have to, you know, get a new business card or anything. Like who has, I still have business cards. Thank you, Vistaprint. But this is, if this is really truly part of your nature, then what you need is to embrace your artistic nature, because it gives so much overflowing of joy and ecstasy regardless of the medium. Now what I mean is the artistic medium, not the they're handing you flowers. Is there a gigantic fucking FTD right as you cross to the other side? Because it seems they all have flowers. But then bad choices. Look, you can't make what you consider good choices until you make bad choices. It is a learning curve. And they're giving me the word rehearsal. You make mistakes in rehearsal. Yeah. I was trained in theater, so what? Big deal. Life is theater, right? All the world's a stage. It's men and women merely players, strutting and fretting their hour. I would rather as a Leo strut than fret, though I'm a Virgo, so you know, I fret enough. So to have a look, maybe bring some of your artistic expression into what you consider your bad choices, because you might find they alchemize. You might find that they alchemize. It's like, oh, wow, that was scripted. There was no way I could have, I was doing the best that I could. It wasn't a bad choice. It was a learning choice. I had to choose that so that I can now choose this. Necessary. And then express your love through small tokens, through small gifts, which as an artist, cook something for somebody. Even if it's for yourself. What if the expression of love is to give a gift to yourself? You know, if you're a narcissist, you're doing that all the time anyway. But, you know, if you're a passive narcissist, it's always your fault, and you're always giving to everything, and nothing you see me, just everything is just bad mistake after bad mistake, bad choice after bad choice after bad choice. Well, then why don't you do your art for you, regardless of product? We're in a very product-oriented society and have been for a very long time. So it's not art unless it sells or shit. No, that your life is your art form. How very law of attraction, circa 2000, whatever. But it is true. Your life is your canvas. So this is why this reading is not a quickie. I get to do clarifiers. So what we're going to do is we're going to clarify this card of nature with one of these cards and one of these cards, all right? In the last reading, I actually used two of these cards to clarify something, and I didn't catch it until afterwards, and that's just how that divinatory cookie crumbled. My gods. Oh, my Lord Leo, please. My Lord Apollo. Leo Apollo. Oh, I date a guy named Leo Apollo. Although I've kind of sworn off dating Leos, but we'll see. Please, my gods, clarify this nature card. What is this nature about? What do they need to know about their nature or going out into nature? Well, there's the hurricane, you see, the Five of Blades, a change of mind, a change of thought. Where is the safest place to be in a hurricane? People will say in a bathtub, in a doorway, in a storm cellar. The safest place to be is in the eye, because this is about swirling, changing thought. If one breath is a thought, what's a hurricane, right? So it's not saying go out into nature and dance in the hurricane. That's not healthy. But there is really a strong pull there to say that there is a lot of thought going on here and a lot of change of thought, that there's looking at your nature in a whole new way and experiencing the nature of your soul rather than your personality in a whole new way. And that's something that you need. Let's get you a love pet card here. My masters, can you please clarify this angel card of nature that the gods have clarified with the Five of Blades, the hurricane, please? What does this Leo collective sun, moon, rising sign need this full moon to new moon next? Oh, to have a look at your jealousy. Now, I will say, I've met thousands of artists over my life. The green-eyed monster pops up a lot for them, but I have learned to not repress my jealousy, but to love it as it rises, right? Because what's in that, what's underneath jealousy for me, now it's different than the deadly sin of envy. The deadly sin of envy makes you crazy. It's the third eye shadow, deadly sin, healed by the grace of knowledge and the grace of clarity. In my personal experience, by the way, check out my book, Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. You can go chakra by chakra in that one. Grace is a divine substance. Let's see if the grace card pops out today. But what's underneath jealousy is this child inside of us. It's like, what is it fucking my turn? I want so hard. This is my turn. They don't deserve, right? And how much of that is just projection of our own internal schemata of toxicity, right? So there's a change of mind with all of that. Really flip the script in terms of jealousy and say, well, look at it as a red flag saying, oh, there's something inside of me that really wants this. What's okay, honey? This is what I do. It's most of my life is mystical child work at this point, inner child work. It's okay, honey. Tell me, what is it? Well, how come they got that? That's not fair. I've done the work. Where's mine? It's okay, honey. I understand. It's okay. Flip the script on that. It's sort of like whenever you feel that, know that there's something inside of you, that your artist's soul is in suffering. Go in and heal it creatively. Have it, write it, script it, dance it, whatever your artistic form is, even if it's food. Like my inner child, my child archetype, gets cookies once a week and lots of anime on Netflix, right? Sure, it's like that's what the kid needs, but he does not get to run the show. The jealousy does not get to possess me. You can be possessed by the shadow of envy, shadow possession, and do things you would never have done in your correct mind, in your healthy mind, in your right mind. Cool? But here we've got this wonderful card. I love this card. Who doesn't love the Ten of Cups, right? So we are going to clarify that first with an angel. My angels, please, can you clarify this Ten of Cups that the gods have shown us that this Leo Sun, Moon, Rising collective needs to look at, needs that Ten of Cups, needs that ecstasy, their cups to overflow. Can you please give us some clarity on that? My angels, top card. Oh, to focus. To focus on the emotional fulfillment. To focus on the joy, the bliss, the ecstasy in some way. Well, that's why we're going to ask the masters. Can you give us a trigger point? Can you give us something, my masters, to clarify that what this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising needs for full moon to new moon next is this Ten of Cups with focus, that through their focus they trigger this Ten of Cups. What is it that they need to focus upon to help them get there? Focus on your fear. Now that doesn't mean be possessed by it, but it was like I was just saying, that fear is but a shadow. So do you have the shadow of being a starving artist? Are you afraid that if you express yourself, if you express that soul power, right, what would happen? What's the worst case scenario? Now that's, people say, don't do that. You'll screw up your vortex. No, that's part of accepting and embracing the shadow. Look, I do more shadow work than most people, I would think, because I'm doing it pretty much every day. And we're looking at waning moon, folks. Full moon to new moon. Those last 3 days are dark moon. Perfect for embracing the shadow. That's why I try not to do much during that time. I try and stay home. I try and, you know, see what comes up. And if something triggers me, if something comes over the castle wall of my soul and hits me, then that's for me to because it's never the thing that triggers you is never the reason why you're feeling what you're feeling. It's hitting something that needs to come up and out. So this fear, so to focus on the fear is to say to give it a voice, but don't let it rule. Now that's not easy. What I do is when I start feeling the fear, I'm like, it's okay, sweetheart, because it's that child, right? That scared child. But what if? Why? Because it tried being creative before, and what? It got judged. It got abandoned, it got ridiculed, it got whatever. We all carry that baggage. Look, people who say we shouldn't stifle children's creativity, I get it to an extent, but if they're scribbling on the wall at the restaurant, you know, it's like, that's property damage. Boundaries. We all have to learn boundaries. None of us are born with them, but certainly ridicule, abandonment, ostracization, sorry, my pronunciator ain't working as well as I would like at the moment. But doesn't that make sense? Because look, I'll show you what I mean. Right? So here, your nature right now is in this change, this hurricane, but it's one where jealousy, you need to get, into the third eye, the eye of the hurricane, to get that. What's really changing is your perception of why them? When's it my turn, right? To go within and do a little healing in that. And then this one is saying really something incredibly similar, right? That your nature may very well, your soul may very well be. What you need is to have that bliss and ecstasy. But in order to do that, you've got to kind of look at and focus on the fear, not be embraced by it, not be possessed by it, and certainly not identified. It's very easy to identify with our fears because they seem so real. But as you see in the picture, it's really just a shadow. It's not anywhere near what she thinks it is. And what is she doing? She's turning her back from it instead of focusing on it and facing it. Just saying. By the way, not easy. Easier said than done indeed. So what might those fears and those jealousies be about? How about past, what you consider bad choices, right? Like, well, I never should have been an artist, or I never should have said that, I never should have been vulnerable, whatever the case may be, because here it's asking you to express your love through gifts, through small tokens. Don't love bomb people with 12 dozen roses. That's just crazy. Not to mention expensive. I mean, it depends on where you get your roses, right? So let's clarify that. Let's get a tarot with that one first. My gods, can you please clarify what the masters have shown that they need to look at? A reinterpretation of bad choices is necessary on the path of the learning curve, of the path of life, of the hero's journey. Can you please give us one card of clarity, my gods, my Apollo, please? What does this Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising Collective sign need to know about their bad choices? It's all part of the play, honey. Don't take it so damn seriously. Now look, Six of Flames is Six of Wands. There's another card in this deck, I think it's the 7, that is Victory, that I think we usually associate with that, but that's what I love about Fiona Morgan and the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, that the reinterpretation of it, that there's something playful, that to really play with the idea, play with it. It's like, was it a bad choice, or was it the best that I could do at the moment, that I wouldn't make that choice again? That's the learning curve. All part of the quantum. You had to do it. It was in the script. And I'm sorry, wisdom comes from making bad choices. It just does. Knowledge is knowledge. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. So how do we get the experience? By making choices. And there's a learning curve. This is not a pass-fail test down here. This is a litmus test. Where am I? Where am I? Instead of asking, where am I? What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? And last card down, my angels, please, because this is speaking pretty clearly to me, but please help clarify. For this Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising sign, from full moon to new moon next, what do they need? Help them look at this bad choices with Bastet, by the way, the feline, oh my God, the goddess. Now it's interesting, by the way, Bastet is a sun goddess, but usually seen as a black cat, although it looks a little bit like Siamese cat in this one, because a black cat would what? Absorb the fire and the heat. So very Leo. Just saw that. please, my angels, please clarify this for this Leo collective sun, moon, rising sign, top of the deck celebration. It's time for you to celebrate your bad choices. I know, very much a paradox, but we're going through a time of the implosion of paradox as the third dimension is being pretty much eliminated by the fifth dimensional unity consciousness, right? What we've all been working for on the spiritual path since Adam, most likely, since the fall from unity into the illusion of separation, which, by the way, was a choice. Was that a bad choice? Well, we wouldn't have had coffee. We would have been one with the bean. How can you have sex with another if we're all one, right? All the world's a stage. So to really look at this in total, right? So the bad choice is to really play with the idea and celebrate that they got you here. Because, I'm sorry, like I have to go musical because this is what they're showing me. You know, Walking on Sunshine is a wonderful song, Katrina and the Waves. I love that song when it comes on the radio. But, you know, I have to say there's been a lot of Sheryl Crow, my favorite mistake in my life. Oh my God, I can't believe you guys said my favorite mistake, right? Bad choices. That some of the best art comes from our worst choices, right? It's live and learn down here. It's grow and evolve. So with that, really, I'm just going to bring this up again. Express your love through gifts, perhaps to yourself, perhaps to that child within you. Don't break the bank. It's small tokens. It says right on it. Giving a small token to someone expresses the love you have for them. You know, sometimes even a text message, sometimes even a reaching out. So if that is part of your art, your artistry, you know, to be an artist of love, isn't that what it's all about? To use the creative power of love when your soul moves you. But also keep in mind that this jealousy, this fear, and these bad choices, you know, they're all kind of speaking of the same thing. Of course, we've made mistakes before. So just make sure that you're doing the alchemy so that you get what you need for this full moon to new moon next. In fact, I'll kick you off a little prayersy, raresy, prayersy, raresy, prayersy, raresy. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, my collective pantheon of angels, gods, and masters, may the Leo collective sun, moon, rising signs be blessed with all that they need this full moon to new moon next, that they may grow, that they may heal, that they may become the best that they can be to fulfill their role in the divine plan, that they may be the artists that their souls truly are, that they may find their nature amongst this hurricane and with any of the jealousy going on, that really, as they focus and alchemize that fear creatively as the artists that they are, that the cup just overflows, those 10 of cups, that ecstasy, that bliss comes to them, because that's really what we all need, and what they need is that 10 of cups, even outside of other people and other relationships, through their own flow of creativity, and that their bad choices, they can see that differently, right? They're just going to see their bad choices differently as something that was just part of the play, to play along and celebrate it, so that they can express their love through gifts, their own spiritual gifts, their own creative gifts, their own soul gifts. Thank you, God, Goddess, all that is, my angels, gods, and masters. May we all be blessed, and may the Leo collective sun, moon, rising signs be blessed from this full moon to new moon next. Thank you. So mote it be. I love you all, my kitty cats. I love you. I'm part of the pride too, the Lyons pride, Lyons. I love you so much, and I wish you very, very the best of this waning moon. But for now, as ever, hail, farewell, and blessed be.